Hey sir, how's it going? So this is my reflection for this month. Um, a little bit frustrating at times, but I feel like most of the mistakes that I ran into or hiccups, issues I ran into were of my own making. The first thing I want to point out here that I didn't really like about my piece was the horizon line. The horizon line is nice and high, and I feel like it should be down around here somewhere, and that's going to bring my grid down a bit, and obviously put the floor down where I think it should be. Um, I could be wrong on that, but I had a couple other solves and fixes where it was down here, and it just looked and felt better to me. The reason why I think this is happening is the way I attacked the project. Knowing that I would have a busy week last week, I tried to sprint to a minimum viable product early in the week. So I did a basic scene track and solve, basic object track and solves, and they weren't the best tracks. What's going on here? Obviously, not the best tracks. I'm not sure if that's just light or what that is. This looks like at this point it is completely off, and I just missed that. Yeah, but anyway, as that shows, it's not the best tracks. And when I put in those original tracks, the idea was to get the objects as solid as possible. So I spent time and I hand placed every single object or every single tracker on both the objects. And those by themselves, without the scene, were lining up well and were moving well and all that good stuff. But then once I got the scene in, I kind of went quicker on the scene, and I relied on the auto cleanup track tool, so cleanup tracks, to take the bad frames out, and went with a quantity over quality approach. So extra trackers and just cut out all the bad scenes and bad pieces, and keep the track, which by number gave me a good solve, so I thought I was in a good location for or a good spot for this solve. But when I'm looking really close at it, I can see all the jitters. I can see this jitteriness here, and so I started realizing earlier on in the week I needed to go in and place some more solid trackers in different areas, if not replace all of them. After watching your lectures, instead of just cutting frames out, I need to try to fix those frames first, fix everything up as much as I can first. And that really helps bring my scene back together. If we look up here in this small corner, we can see that this guy is actually still in the wrong position. I think if he should be back here just a little bit, and it should be moving to in front of it, not starting in front of it and then moving behind it. And if we look right here, tracker 165, actually, so this one needs to be moved up a little bit. Tracker 165 is level with the back end of where this guy's standing. So this should be up a little bit. This should be back a little bit more, which was there originally. But as I started to bring in the different solves and refine them all together, it wasn't lining up. So I had to go back in and add more solid tracks and clean everything up in the ways that you showed us, and not rely completely on that auto track tool. So that's, it's already been 4 minutes me rambling on about that, but that is my big takeaway for this week is or this month, is if I am tracking, to take my time, lay down good foundations, and make sure that my initial tracks and my initial solves are really solid before I move on to the next phase of this whole thing. Because without that, it just ended up being an absolute burden trying to replace all my objects every single time I redid something. So yeah, taking my time from the start, making sure that everything is showing good individually, and then adding them all together. All right, have a great one, sir. See you.